Okay, here we go. We're live. Little Monsters Movie Podcast. We're live chat for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974, the original, with Gunnar Hansen passing away. I thought I'd get a couple people together, and I got you guys introduce yourself.
Hey, Pat, horror movie review guy. Check out my channel. If you've already heard of me, then hey, and thanks for watching.
I'm Luke, ZS5 Productions, Zombie Slayer 5, whatever you want to call me. Make videos. Check me out, I guess. You'll probably
Your
see me in
volume's
chat
on.
somewhere. Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not me. Oh, okay, well, anyways. Alright.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I just thought I'd get together after my commentary here on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There was a lot of good info that we put out there if you haven't watched it yet. And so yeah, just really wanted to get in there and start seeing what everybody else thought about it, especially with Gunnar Hansen passing away, pancreatic cancer. And yeah, I mean the movie that started it all off for Leatherface,
Yeah, and for me, I think it's really the only one for me. Number two had its, I don't know, charms about it, and there was, well, I think the gore was stepped up in kind of a weird way, but it was never the same story after the first one for me. The remake, very flashy, well made. I don't really have any qualms with it. I think it's a good movie too, but it's not the original. Gunnar Hansen, did he go? Did he go on to play in 2 and 3 as well?
Let me see. I do believe he did. Oh boy, you got me stumped here now. Let's see.
Okay, hold on, let me...
I wasn't sure.
I don't think he did. No, he just did the original, and then he went on to play. Oh boy, a bunch of other silly flicks. And
you know what? He didn't, because yeah, check. That was the newest one.
Yeah, 2013, the newest one that was out.
Yeah, I should have known that because I looked up his filmography today. Yeah, that's right. It was only 74. I think that was his first film.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, Tobe Hooper.
Yeah.
Wrote and direct, and yeah, this was his first stint at film, and boy, what a role to get. You know what I mean? Just an icon like Leatherface. I mean, who could have thought that it would become as big as it was?
Yeah, and there's no way that he knew that. There's no way. Well, no, I don't think any of them knew that it was going to be like a cult classic.
No.
At all. I mean, and actually, I think shooting something like that, I think would be almost like a personal goal, personal project type of thing, almost, because I would imagine, especially, like I wasn't around in '74, but it would have been quite gruesome and well, I mean, it had a hell of an aura about it of being like just like this terrible, ugly movie.
Yeah, and actually they really didn't. I mean, there's not a whole lot of blood or gore, or I mean, they don't show the actual cutting up of the victims and stuff like that. I mean, even when Sally gets up on the spike type thing, I mean, you don't see Leatherface actually put her up on the spike. You just see it afterwards, her wriggling around, and so it's a very disturbing image that they put throughout the whole film, and I think that's what got me when I watched this movie, because it's not your typical slasher where you're actually seeing the knife go right into him, like Jason and all the others, but and he also I said this in my commentary. Ted brought it up. He went and researched for the role too. So Tobe Hooper told him to just play it as you want and go with it as you will. And he went and I guess went to some mental institutions and
Wow.
Played it as a mentally disabled, like a child, and you'll notice that when Paul's hitting him and hollering at him, and he's just like grunting words and stuff like that. So that's what he said he did for the role. I mean, which is kind of interesting, So
I didn't really put that much into it. I didn't know that he researched the role and stuff like that. That'd be kind of a difficult one to do because he's like inventing his own character.
Yeah, well, the beginning of Leatherface, and yeah, the way he he portrayed him on there. I mean, you know, the scene, you know, where he kills everybody. I mean, it's just starting right off, dragging everybody into that kitchen, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, to just go with the character. He said he really researched a lot of the handicapped people back then. I mean, to make himself like a child, just a mentally disabled, disturbed individual, you know. So, and he pulled it off well. I mean, in every aspect, you know.
Yeah,
What do you think, Luke?
Well, I think it's a very atmospheric movie. It's not. I mean, it is a slasher, but it's not a slasher kind of. It's hard to. I don't really know how to put it into words, but if you know what I mean by like, it's very atmospheric. Like, there are like nice shots of like just all this gross, gruesome stuff.
Oh yeah, the cinematography of this movie
Yeah.
was just great. Like when like Kirk and Jason is no who was it, Jerry walking up towards the sun setting in the back. I mean, just everything. And then like you said, the killings, just the way they filmed it, and you didn't really see blood, but just the hammer going down, hitting the head. I mean, it was just beautiful for and it was on a budget, you know. And I think Ted mentioned this too. He said they filmed this throughout the heat of the summer in Texas, and
Oh, that must have been.
they never took baths, showers. They stayed in clothing because Tobe Hooper said he didn't want them messing up like the scenes and stuff like that, like putting on a different shirt or pants. So it was like, you know, from the beginning to the end, they shot it, you know, just like that in sequence, which was very interesting. But he said a couple of the people said that this was the most miserable movie they've ever. And the hitchhiker guy, he goes, this was worse filming this than Vietnam was, and he went to Vietnam. So it just goes to show you how bad this film was for these people making this movie. It was crazy.
Yeah, I would imagine. Well,
But
even
I mean, I'd say it's worth it.
Right. It made it.
I know the house was sweltering. It was like almost. It was almost like just beyond any sort of ability to take. It was like 100 and something. I watched this thing on it. I forgot the details, but there was a bunch of stories. The lights were getting way too hot. There was problems with the cameras and stuff like that. So I can't imagine that type of heat and having to try to act and play. Well, actually, maybe it helps you play a bit of a lunatic because your fuse would be so short.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure that had to get to everybody's head and get them aggravated and everything else, and just, you know, added to the effect of the movie. You know, I mean, yeah, I mean, just what?
Well, yeah, I mean, like if you think about it this way, it might have been bad now, but this low-budget horror movie is still being talked about 41 years later. So I mean, it's.
Oh yeah.
I'd say worth it.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a success. One thing I like about it is it's not overly complicated in terms of like how it's shot and things like that. They just picked really good things to shoot, and they caught the heat really well. So you get that sense of like you feel worn out even being there. You know what I mean? Because it's so hot and it just adds to it. I don't know. Maybe we can get on to all the different characters, but as far as like the atmosphere, it does capture insanity because it goes from kind of I guess you'd have to be alive for the times too to get it even more.
Right. 74 is a different time, and you know.
Yeah, so like the atmosphere in the van and stuff when they're traveling, I can't relate to the dialogue as much, but. It goes from that to like Looney Tunes pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
I thought the stopover at the other house was kind of like just kind of an excuse to eventually get to Leatherface's house.
Right.
So
Right. Franklin's his father's house or so, and it's all abandoned and all that. And I mean, I would think that just just finding a place, because he grew up there in the slaughterhouse and all that. And who just joined in? Is that Spooky Sounds?
Yeah, that's me, man. Sorry I'm late. I just downloaded this app or whatever you want to call it. It took me a while.
Hey, no problem, man. You're here though, huh?
What's up?
So,
Yeah, I'm here.
and what your first name?
And your first name is Chris, man.
Chris. Okay, nice to meet you, Chris.
Yeah, what's up?
Not much. And check him out, Spooky Sounds on YouTube. Yeah, we're just going over the movie, man, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which we just did a commentary on, and I loved going back to this moody, atmospheric film, and like you were saying, Pat, just for the era, 1974. They just hit gold. I think it was a different time making movies and stuff like that, and doing it on a budget, not having everything. Like even when the one guy Kirk and there's the Kirk and Pam, the boyfriend girlfriend. Kirk goes into the abandoned house, which is Franklin's father's or whatever, and the camera shoots up to a bunch of daddy long legs, little spiders up in the corner, and the camera just zooms in on that. You can tell that they probably walked in the room and said, "Oh, cool! That looks like something that would be really awesome to just shoot."
Yeah. Or they just like, oh, and by the way, Chris, actually no, there's no feedback coming from you. We're cool. Sometimes YouTube's on in the background. What's really cool is being low budget and stuff like that. Like who knows what pickup shots they just went. Like, hey, just get that, and hey, like you're saying, oh, there's spiders up there. God, let's just do something with that as well. Don't you wish you could have been born in maybe the 40s and know now, or know then what we know now about horror and get the opportunity to make these things? I wish I know that's totally just going back in time and stealing an idea, but I don't know. I'd want to be the first, I'm envious of these guys who got to make these movies back then and what they turned into.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the original, I can remember when I was a kid, my mom and dad used to tell me stories about going to the theater and the cinema and stuff when they first started dating and all this type of thing. And my mom told me stories about, oh, this one movie scared the shit out of me. It scared the shit out of me. She was scared to go around corners and all this type of stuff. And they seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in '74 when it came out, and it scared the crap out of them.
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, the movies are I mean, I'm not going to say there's not movies now that scare you. I mean, it's mostly, I think, nowadays about slashing and gore and the torture. Yeah, I mean, it's different. You know what I mean? Back then, it was atmospheric. It would really, and like you said, you would go to the theater. It's all dark. It's you're getting in the mood for it and stuff. And yeah, I mean, stuff like that would just scare the crap out of you. I had an uncle that passed out when we went and seen The Exorcist. He just he walked out of the car and passed out on the ground, and I'm like freaking out. I'm a kid. And they took me to go see this movie, and I'm like, yeah, so I'm old enough to be able to say that I've seen a lot of these things in the theaters and stuff like that, so,
And not to switch off of Texas Chainsaw, but just with new movies, actually recently I've been seeing a couple movies that actually are really starting to kind of change my mind on the direction of horror. I think it's starting to go in the right direction again. Being a little bit more, I don't know what everybody's take is on this Krampus. Is that what it's called, Krampus?
Yeah.
The Santa Claus Christmas thing?
Yeah. I'm not sure what everybody's initial reaction to all this is yet, but I saw just a little tidbit of what it could be. And Zach, we're not on Skype. Sorry, man. We're on Google Hangouts. But because he's just trying to get on right now. But from the little snippet I saw, I went. I don't know why that kid hates Christmas, but anyways, because that's in the trailer. But it looks inventive. It looks like, okay, now we're using imagination here. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, as opposed to just some girl with black eyes. That being said, looking back at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I was going to say Krampus. I mean, the character itself looks awesome.
Yeah. Amazing.
Oh yes.
I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know how that's going to be. But the character is.
It's the same guy who made Trick or Treat. So
Yeah.
so
Okay.
so
Some promise then.
so yeah, definitely
Okay.
excited.
Yeah, and they got to roll with Trick or Treat, and they got to roll. If this movie is what I think it is, this could be a new thing. It could be. Cause I'm just talking almost blind here because I haven't seen the movie. I've just seen actually half a trailer.
Right.
But you get as a horror fan, you get kind of a sense about what it might be, and if it is what I think it is, it can be a seasonal thing. Or how I don't know what the dynamics of the character are, or there might be other things to it that maybe aren't Christmas related. I'm not sure, but all right, maybe we got a new character. Maybe we got a character for the 2000 teens, and we can roll on with a pretty good franchise. And and it looks like the type of movie that's not going to be like this technology-based thing where people are looking shit up on Google and come on. No,
the technology throwing it into the movies are just, I mean, I don't know.
If you think about it, there are like infinite possibilities of like kids at Christmas, and then Krampus shows up, and that could happen to all kinds of things.
Yeah, and I'm only speculating as to what this movie could be because I have no idea. I haven't even read. Azak, what's up? We see in the chat. We're not on Skype though. I have no idea what this movie could be, but it seems like there's just the idea and generally what I saw. There could be a lot of potential avenues for this movie, and so I'm excited. I'm definitely going to go see it. For sure, I'm going to see this. No, oh God, no.
In space, come on. Yeah.
And I wonder what his shtick will be because like at first it caught me off guard.
He's the anti-Santa.
Oh, let's just watch Krampus and Santa beat each other up. I mean, hey, you know.
We got to go see this movie and then get together and do a show on Krampus.
We should all
reactions on Krampus.
Yeah. We should do like a long podcast on that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, because I definitely want to talk about that movie because it's actually the first movie that hasn't been like a remake or reboot that I've been like, that looks good. I want to see that. What's that about? It's the first one in a long, besides other genres that I've looked at and I've been like, this could be special. Like I can't remember one in recent history that I've actually gotten kind of like goosebumps, but excited because it looks also creative and it looks like an adventure and it doesn't look like this kind of cookie cutter shit that we've been seeing for a while. So
no, Goosebumps. I think I'd like to go take the kids to and see too. So
it was good.
That was good.
I haven't seen that one yet either, but yeah.
But anyways,
kids would like it.
Yeah. And everybody watching, feel free to chat if you can. I don't know if you have YouTube accounts or you're watching on a phone or not, but if not, throw a comment in. We always respond to it. It's on a delay, so feel free.
And I think I plan on slowly doing more of these after, like I said, I just did Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I figured, a couple days later, maybe I'll do a live chat talking about it a little bit. Why not? You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, character-wise in this movie, Franklin. You guys want to talk a little bit about him?
Yeah, let's talk about Franklin.
Oh, this guy was just unbelievably annoying, and they said he stayed in character throughout the whole shoot, and he was bugging the heck out of everybody. So, can you imagine being on the set there, man?
I don't know what that character was supposed to draw because on the one hand he was handicapped, so you think he's got a disadvantage, so you're feeling bad that he's like going to be in a tougher spot than others already, but at the same time he is just impossible to like. He is.
And I wonder, well, they bring him along because it was his father's house and they went down to see Sally's father's gravestone or whatever, but really, other than that, they were very annoyed at him even being there. I mean, he was, from the opening scene when they stop off and he's got to take a leak. He pushes him down to the bushes and gives him a coffee can. Says, "Here you go,"
And also, like his character, like it's strange because you think that you think that they'd give him some sort of they'd be a little bit dismissive of him, not dismissive, but like a little bit, okay, this guy, you gotta feel bad for him, like, oh shit, he's crippled. But then like Leatherface just comes out, and one of the really iconic scenes just comes out and just bang right down the chest.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's the only one that got killed by the chainsaw.
So it's the Texas Chainsaw
that's
Killing.
right.
I mean, yeah, which is kind of strange, but and then Sally gets all caught up in the thorn bushes and stuff, and they said she really got all caught up in those like the thorn bushes and all that when he's chasing her through the
Like Sally Hardesty.
Sally, yeah.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Marilyn Burns, by the way. Put
What's
that out there. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Oh yeah, me and Ted were talking about her quite a bit. Yeah.
What's this from Zach? Krampus' new Mortal Kombat character confirmed? If that's true, that's incredible. I don't like the idea of that necessarily. Well, actually, screw it. Let everybody have fun. But kills the mystique a bit if they reveal too much. I'd like to see them take it really slow with this character. But anyways, just to keep it on Texas. Sorry.
Well, that's all right.
Scene where her finger gets cut. That I forgot her name, but
Sally,
girl. Sally. I don't know why I couldn't think of her name, but that wasn't like the tube wasn't working. It wasn't looking good, so they the actress actually let them cut her finger.
Yes, they
for
did.
that scene.
Oh God.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, she actually cut her finger, and she sticks it in Grandpa's mouth, and he, of course, I mean, it's a classic scene. Starts sucking it, and which is one of the I'm going to say funniest scenes for me. Okay, I mean it was funny when he's sucking it. His legs and hands are going up, flailing, like in just the weirdest, odd. It's strange. Next time you watch it, watch Grandpa's arms and legs flopping around in enjoyment of sucking her blood. Yeah, just like it was a trip. But yeah, and you seen the blood on her. She put it right in his mouth. Like this is Grandpa's mouth right here. See that?
Gross.
Yeah. And who do you think was the best character? Like who's the most attractive character? Because for me, I'm not over. I like the hitchhiker. I haven't seen this movie.
Character.
Oh yeah, no, not the best.
Okay, because it was Sally and Pam, and I actually like Pam a little bit better than Sally.
Yeah, me too actually.
She was wearing a little bit less, and Sally did have the we know what we're talking about. But go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, no, it's been a couple years for me since I've seen this, so I'm just kind of putting it together. But it hasn't been a movie that I've gone back to often. I actually think I like the novelty of the movie a little bit more than the movie itself.
Right.
Because to be honest, there's some scenes that I don't look forward to seeing. I understand her shock when she wakes up or comes to by the dinner table, but it's so loud and it's I don't know, like it just
disturbing.
It's not disturbing. It's just like screeching. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me.
Okay, annoying. So she annoys you when she wakes up and she's so disturbed over those crazy lunatics at the end of the table.
Yeah, that and like the usage of some of the sound with the high pitch and the speed of it at certain times. It kind of puts me off that part of it.
Me and Ted were talking about the sounds. I mean, they actually took sounds from the slaughterhouse, I think, and he recorded types of like animals and stuff, and just got really weird sounds to add to the score because there really is no music in this in the movie.
Yeah. Except they do a couple of those high pitch like B, like I don't know how to do it, but
sorry, Pat. I'm sure everyone knows this, but it's a flashbulb wearing out.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's an old photo camera, and when the flashbulb wears out, it makes that sound. And I think they altered it slightly, but what they did is just altered it slightly, and that's the sound it makes when it burns out.
Oh yeah. Now that you said that, I mean, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever works, man.
Yeah.
See, I love stories like that because I love Foley stories. They're always interesting.
Oh heck yeah! Well, this movie's filled with stories like that, man. But you were saying your most attractive character-wise, I think you were saying the hitchhiker, or
Yeah, I forget his name. The guy
I
that
think they just give him credit, I think, as the hitchhiker.
is that it?
I think so. I have
He's
to
the
look again.
he's the most attractive character to me because he changed the tone so quickly. It went from kind of a hippie getaway, everything's kind of a-okay, they bitch a little bit, joke around, whatever, and then they pick this guy up, and it just bang changes the tone because it's very real too. I mean, people are kind of that type of offside that makes sense. Like he wasn't over the top. At least I didn't feel he
At
was over the
first.
top. At
Yeah.
first, he does get, to my recollection, pretty crazy. But that, I buy it. The I don't know. I don't know how many victims they have. I guess the graveyard served as, I guess, mostly the bones in the house and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I mean we'll get to like Ed Gein. I mean, this movie more than any other ones, more than Psycho, more than Silence of the Lambs, really, Tobe Hooper brought in a lot more of Ed Gein's serial killer, the aspect of who he really was. I mean, they were dealing with the hitchhiker guy, the younger son. I mean, Paul even hollers at him about digging up graves. I mean, so there's a lot of grave robbing, and that house is filled with human skin, in the shape of, for the lamps and stuff like that. You got skeletons, as lamps. You got bowls.
Yeah.
So they used all kinds of utensils, things in every room of this house, and just took way, and of course Leatherface, the skin around his, his mask and stuff like that. But yeah, they just took so much from this, the character Ed Gein in this movie. So yeah, unreal.
Let me ask one for Chris. Chris, what do you think of the body language of they don't refer to him as Leatherface in the movie, do they?
I don't believe so, no.
No.
I don't think
What do you think of his?
I'm pretty sure that the hitchhiker, the younger brother, says, "Hey, Leatherface, help me with Pa or Grandpa."
Oh, he does. Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure he does say that. He says, "Come help me with Grandpa" when you're getting him ready to go down the steps. So
I thought it was
I
one of
figured they
those
just called him
Jaws
Bubba.
things.
What was your question, Pat?
Oh, I was gonna say, what do you think of like the body language? Do you think it suited the character? Because that's because he's not a dialogue character besides the odd grunt and stuff like that. So he had to play everything up basically with his eyes on close-ups and body language. And one of the things that I noticed was that when he's in the chair by the window, it's actually almost telling of like a sad character in a way, like a misfit type of thing. And I'm because it's been asked in the chat room by Zach. The body language of I forgot the name of it, of the guy. Sorry, Luke. What's the guy from Arlie? Ernie. Yeah, I didn't know his name, but I'm just like, just got me thinking. Like their body language is a little bit different. So, what do you think?
You mean the body language of Leatherface himself?
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think?
I thought it, like, you know what? When I like you said, it's been a couple of years since I watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes down to like his character development and everything, I do sympathize with him, and I do see that, like, he has a mental handicap or whatever, and because of his family.
yeah.
Then there's the line of the father figure, who says, I've never liked killing, or whatever like that. He said at the dinner scene, he says that. He's like, I've never been fond of killing.
Yeah, he tells them, yeah, that's just not something he likes doing. I'm just not very fond of killing. Yeah.
Yeah, but so it's more about a survival thing. But when it comes down to the character himself, I am sympathetic with him because, I mean, that's just the way he was taught.
Yeah.
He was taught he doesn't see it as a bad thing to chase people with a chainsaw to kill them, because he's just at the end helping his family.
Right.
You know?
He's got a crazy dad who's constantly abusing him. I mean, you see him with the stick, get back in there and make yourself some food. I mean, he's just constantly at him, and
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of someone. He reminds me of like a Rottweiler that has like owners that train it to attack and beat people and stuff like that. It's almost like they treat him like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like a caged animal.
yeah, or he don't know any better. I mean, that's the way he was raised. He is mentally handicapped as he portrays his character, and he thinks he's this. Get ready for food. Nobody comes in the house, you kill him. As in part 2, you find out they're making chili and everything else, and I mean you can kind of throw it to this movie too. I mean even when Sally runs back to the gas station and they get they're looking all around the room as she's realizing where she is, and you see all the meat hanging above the little fire and stuff like that. Kind of throwing it out there that this is maybe people meat, the whatever, so.
Maybe.
What's that?
Maybe.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they don't say it. They don't say it for sure, but yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
Well, frankly, when they bring the barbecue or whatever they called it, I think the barbecue out to the van when they first stop at the gas station, he takes a bite of it, and you can see his face just for a second. He's like, makes a face like, oh, this is gross, man, but then continues to eat it. So I mean, I don't know. I mean. We really don't know. They don't tell us. So, and you said something about this that when they get that close up of Leatherface sitting in the chair and he starts licking his chops and stuff.
His teeth are all messed up and everything.
Yeah, well, he had his dentist actually make him up, make up a set of chops for him, to look like that just for that scene. So, another interesting fact there. But
I was going to jump in and say I think one thing that makes this film so unsettling. Which I guess that would be the perfect word for myself. My experience of the movie is unsettling, is that there's no motive or rationale behind it, or even if it's irrational, any reason behind it. Whereas if you look at something like a mainstream franchise, you at least understand the motive behind it or the reason behind it. But I don't see any real goal of this besides maybe self-indulgence and being sadistic and things like that, but or just they're complete lunatics and who knows what the reason is. But that's what I find so unsettling about it.
Oh yeah, me and Ted we were talking about. I mean, this is you just got a group of. I mean, the world is filled with nuts, psychopaths, and serial killers, people who this stuff goes on. I mean, it's disturbing just to know that this stuff goes on every day.
Oh yeah, there's the craziest stuff, and to bring in like real stories that are crazier. I'm not sure what state it was in, but this guy and 2 of his brothers had 3 girls. One was his daughter's friend that he picked up after school, and he had them in his basement for 3 years. Had them pregnant multiple times. One actually.
Talking about that happened right here where we're at in Cleveland.
It was in Cleveland, yeah, and it's just it went on right next, like horrors actually really going on next door. Stuff that you'd see in a horror movie that would be.
That's funny. You said 20 minutes from me. Yeah, he boarded up the windows. He came out of the house, went to work. I mean, it's stuff like that scares the heck out of you. I mean, because it's right next door, and nobody knew actually they didn't know for like 10 years. The first. Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't know the girls' names right offhand because I'm so into the movie right now. But yeah, I mean, this is 20 minutes away from me here in Cleveland, and and I think 2 years before that, they caught another serial killer. Down in Cleveland there that he had tons of bodies in his house. I think that made national news too, but again, I'd have to get that, but it goes on every day, and I think that's what's unsettling.
Like neighbors said that like they never thought that because like they saw this guy, like he interacted with society and stuff.
Most serial killers are the smartest people, the most social, for the most part.
Oh yeah, you've probably encountered a serial killer in your life.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, if that was common, we'd have...
I hope
Well,
not.
well, I mean like passed by one, not like.
I know what you're talking about, Luke. I mean, it's, like I
Yeah.
was saying, it's you never know
Yeah.
what's
That's what I'm saying.
going on underneath your nose.
We're talking about the old like Ted Bundy style thing. Like Ted Bundy, he just blends in. Always a law student and everything. Always a stand-up guy. But oh wait, he did a bunch of shit. Oh
Yep.
fuck. Like, you know, like,
Yeah.
I get what you're talking about. Luke, is that your name, Luke?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. What's up,
Yeah,
man?
just like Jeffrey Dahmer too, man. The dude has a apartment filled with drums,
Yeah.
filled with acid, with bodies. I mean, you know, the smells and stuff. I mean, you don't understand how these people get away with it for so long. But in this movie, you could kind of figure. I mean, they're in the boondocks. They don't care about cars, vehicles really coming up. Although you do see a lot of abandoned vehicles in the front of the house and stuff like that. So people have arrived but never left. So I mean,
Yeah, and you wouldn't question it. Like that's why I buy the scenario.
yeah.
But besides, I mean, the remote. Well, I mean, you got to think of it this way. I guess that place has been there for quite some time. They've been doing it for quite some time. So this is just a tale of one group that just happened to pass by. So it's not like you could look at it and be like, what are the odds of this? At some point, something like that's going to happen. So that's one of those cases. And then, but being where it is, near gas stations, plus dude's the friggin' sheriff. I'm pretty sure. Am I right on that?
I don't think he was a sheriff, but he did own
That's
the.
that's
yeah.
in,
Oh, you own, yeah, okay.
That's in the remake.
That's the, all right.
I don't think they showed a cop in this movie at all. So.
Well, either way. But if you were to pass by, like, there's lots of country towns where there's just strewn vehicles of various types or whatever,
Right.
and you don't think too much of it at all, because like in smaller towns, I don't know, maybe the guy sells whatever, I don't know. It's just like
right. It's just like a junkyard, you know, type
yeah,
thing.
like if that was in the middle of New York City, in the suburbs, or not, well, the suburbs of New York City, and you saw 19 trucks at somebody's house, somebody would say something, obviously, you know, like.
Right.
So yeah, I buy the situation. That's what makes it unsettling, and the lack of reason and rationale behind it. You know, there's just nothing to explain it. It just happened.
Yeah, yeah. And throw this out there to you guys too. Me and Ted were like, they are making a prequel kind of for Leatherface, you know, when he was. But we thought, me and Ted were like, why don't they make a movie just called Grandpa, and it's all about Grandpa. You know what I mean? Because they did say he was the best killer. You know.
That's true.
So you could just imagine before all of this happened and Leatherface came along, Grandpa doing all this killing on this property. I mean, I just think it's a great concept, and just call it Grandpa. You know,
the studios won't do that because
I know they won't, but
it doesn't have the Texas Chainsaw name attached to it, even though there was a film called Texas Chainsaw, I do believe. But they won't do it. And you know what? As like just watching movies or whatever, fucking, they won't do it in the sense that, wow, that's a really good idea.
It won't make money.
Oh, exactly. No, they need the title name. They need to make money, and that's why a lot of the stuff has gone to crap. I mean, you know, for the most part.
Yeah, I also think too, like they're gonna rehash, and it makes sense too, because like. I think I said that twice, but anyway, they got to cash in on the name, right? And coming out with something that doesn't have the franchise name attached to it, and you're basically following, or well, it'd be a prequel, but it's kind of an addition to the original in the sense that you're filling in a gap, and I'm not sure if people would be as attracted to that. I don't think you would draw a big crowd. I think that would be a straight to video or straight to DVD type of thing.
It'd be awesome though.
Yeah, I'd fuck. I mean, I buy
Trick or Treat
called
direct to DVD, and it's Trick or Treat was great.
Well, yeah.
It was direct to DVD, so.
some of the best movies out there right now are the unknowns, and they're coming from other countries. So
Yeah.
you know, you got to search for them, but they're out there. And
yeah, like what you were saying, like they gotta have the name. Like if they made a Nightmare on Elm Street remake and called it Freddy, they would never do that because it doesn't have the name to it.
Right.
Yeah, and I suppose you could actually do a story on. Well, unless this was your point, I'm sorry if I missed that part. But Freddy's dad, I mean, he's in the asylum, and you can make an and because I know I made fun of it in the perspective video. Chris, I'm not sure if you're familiar with my channel or not, but I made fun of it in the perspective video because they call him son of 1,000 or 100 maniacs or whatever, which doesn't make sense because only one sperm, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they could do like a story on it because the dude looked like, you know, Robert Englund. So, well, yeah, because it was. So, but they could do a whole thing on that, but. They could get away with it because they can attach the franchise name to it, no problem. And even if you didn't, it's large enough that you would dive into it anyway. I think it's a risk, but it's definitely something they could go into the realm of straight to DVD. Like, I mean, Curse of Chucky went to straight to DVD, and that was, I think, one of the strongest. Yeah,
it's just unfortunate that, you know, you don't get as many, you know, great scripts coming along with. I mean, every now and then you do, but you know, it's few and far between. But you know, what are you going to do?
Oh yeah.
You know, another fact that I'll just throw it out there, okay? Gunnar Hansen. It's funny that he actually lived. He was born in Iceland, but he moved to Texas, grew up in Texas, and went to Texas University. And then does Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
I think,
wow.
You know, so.
It's kind of ironic.
Yeah.
Little internal message.
Yeah, you know, it's like, all Texas, man. What's going on?
What the fuck is going on? What's going on in Texas?
Man.
Are you from the United States?
Myself?
Yeah.
No. You guys are.
No, I'm from Canada. I live in Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, so yeah.
Cleveland, Ohio. Cool.
Yeah.
Canada.
I'm sorry?
Newfoundland, Canada.
Oh, you're a Newfie. Oh, so you're like my cousins.
Oh, okay. A lot of Canadians on the YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Huh? I seem to be coming across a lot of Canadians. I know, it's weird. What the?
I know what that was.
What was that?
What's that? It was a hockey goal sound. Or a buzzer from hockey. Yeah, we know. We should never have taken the St. John's Maple Leafs away from you guys.
Oh God. Don't even start. Don't even start.
I apologize. I don't. Whatever.
No,
anyways, that's an internal thing between us and Newfoundland. So.
Oh well.
But
so
coming back, but sorry.
Oh no, that's right. That's right.
That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, we don't got no hockey really up here, but anyways.
We used to have the Cleveland Barons, but that was the WHA. But
yeah.
Wait,
no, they
played
the
Red Wings, so.
Yeah.
Toronto Maple for life.
And we stole everything from Detroit. And by the way, my buddy
Yeah.
Brad's probably watching. Yeah, we took everything from Detroit, your favorite team. What now? And I have Eisman's rookie card in your face.
No. Oh my.
I'm just teasing.
Oh well. So yeah, where should we go from here?
What do you
That ass shot of Sally Hardesty underneath the wing, how it's recreated so many fucking times in all the remakes and everything. Why did they concentrate on only that shot? Why did they recreate that and not any other? Yeah, they do the door slamming thing and like all that and the hook in the back and all that type of shit. But why is it that they did the low dolly shot underneath the swing on Marilyn Burns' ass? Why did they?
Because it looked good. I don't know.
It was a beautiful shot in '74.
Right. Yeah.
I don't remember that part.
He was playing around with the camera angles a lot in this movie. I mean,
yeah.
It's just probably something he did, and got a
Yeah,
little.
there was a couple of funny, but you know what? It was suiting. There was a couple of funny like canted angles and stuff like that were in the movie, and it was I don't know. It's another one of those things that always makes me feel unsettled, like those types of shots and stuff like that. But I don't recall the. I guess we're talking about a butt shot here, a good one.
Yeah, if I was sending her off there, I would say, hey, let's get it right here too. So I think he got a good shot of it. So.
It was just the fact that it was underneath the bench,
Right. I know, yeah.
People were like, "Oh my God, how the hell did they do that?"
Maybe he got drunk, fell down, and he didn't want to get up, and he said, just roll with it.
Someone wake up the cameraman. What's it called? The actress who played Sally, I forgot, died last year.
Yeah,
really?
She did. Yeah.
Yeah, she died August 4th, 2014.
Yep.
How old was she?
65.
Jeez.
Too young.
60s are lucky for these people.
Another really, like you said, when she started screaming and she wakes up at the table, another very odd effect to it was when coming to the... Wow, Luke. That was her, okay. When she starts freaking out and they get the close-up of the eye, which is the poster I put up for the video of our last commentary.
Yeah.
The really close-up of the eye, just showing the fear and the, insanity with everything going on. I thought that was just a really cool scene.
You can see the veins in her eyes, like the red lines, and it's strange that they got that incredible of a focus with a film camera. That was actually really, really.
Yeah, and I'm saying it's cool as a horror fan, not as It's a shame everything she went through. But I mean, another scene is when she runs down to the gas station and he comes in and she bringing a burlap sack and rope, because she went down to the gas station to get saved, get away from Leatherface. And as soon as he walks in with it and she picks up the knife, he picks up a broom and whacks her and knocks the knife down. And I mean, that's all that took. And actually knocks her out and then ends up tying her up, burlap sack, and then gets her in the vehicle. I know I'm going over everything here real quick, but when she's in the car with the burlap sack on her, you could tell the sadist that comes out in him. He starts poking her with that thing, but then he's going, everything's okay, and then just starts whacking her. Just very disturbing. I mean, a total sadist. He didn't like to kill, but evidently he liked to torture.
He probably enjoyed keeping him alive for that or something like that.
When Grandpa starts hitting her over the thing, you can see paws jumping up and down in the background.
Yeah.
And he can't hit her hard enough. It's just like he doesn't have enough strength to hit her. It's like,
But then he starts getting a little excited, and the strength starts picking up a little bit, and then he gets a really good whack at her, so.
Yeah.
That's actually it's a pretty disgusting scene. One thing I was going to ask Chris is, cameras aren't my strongest suit, but do you know what they shot in? Because it looks like 25 frames, because it has that like really grainy sort of look to it that's not as smooth. You know what I mean?
I'm not 100% familiar with that. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, because it had a different kind of look.
I've never shot with the camera like that myself, but
well, you can usually cameras like. Well, I have some DSLRs here. Like you have the option of what rate you want to shoot at and stuff like that. I think 60 is ridiculous, but like 25 has a certain look to it, and that's I was just curious if you knew, because it might have. I got nothing else to say about it, but I was just curious what it might be.
Yeah, it depends what you're watching, what kind of movie it is. I know what you're talking about with the 60 frames and the crystal clarity and all this stuff that's coming up now, 5K and everything else. You can see every pore in the body, and there's something to the old movies where
Well, the problem I have with like 60 frames is that like it's too clear with movement, And like with other, sorry about that. With other like a lower frame rate, like it has that natural blur to the background when things move, so that it's natural for your eyes. When they pump up the frames and everything is crystal clear, it makes you almost dizzy when they start moving around and all that. And
Your eyes out and shit.
sorry?
It bugs your eyes out. Like, it hurts your eyes, I find, with those, like, HD TVs and everything. Like, you're watching a television show, and it's just shot like any other television show, but the depth is really weird. Like,
oh, you're talking about a lot of these new HD TVs and stuff like that. We're getting on to a different subject here, but it's called the soap opera effect. It's so clear. You can actually go into the settings and set that off. It's called, boy, I'd have to look again what that's called, like auto.
I hope it's called fuck off.
There, exactly. I turned it off because it drove me nuts. You know.
Well, more what I was talking about was not the clarity of it, but what happens in the background. Like with that many frames per second, it's catching so much information that the background moves perfectly still and doesn't have that natural blur that, you know, when you move your eyes, you focus on whatever you turn to, but in between it's a little bit blurred. That doesn't exist when they make a movement. So like when I'm watching, we're way off topic, but when I'm watching The Dark Knight and it's encircling the Joker, there's a natural sort of blur to the background. Whereas if it was like The Hobbit and it's 60 frames per second, it's almost like you just can't get out of your visuals for a moment. It's almost nauseating. But anyways, so I guess my point to get back to Texas was I thought whatever they shot it on really did it captured it well, and it was suiting, and the color scheme too was very good. It was very, like, to describe it as macabre, they got the right color scheme for that word somehow. I don't know. It just seemed really
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's like you said, the grainy feel to it, the shades of gray and darker colors and toned down, added to the effect of the mood and the view of the movie. So yeah, I know what you mean. The movie's just classic and just in every way. I mean, I think started it off really for this kind of, slasher type thing that was, even though there were other ones that were a lot more bloodier back then. I think this just started it off just great.
You don't need that though. You don't need that bloody aspect. Although those films are great as well, but the reason why with Texas Chainsaw Massacre has stand the test of time is because it was creepy and it made you think, oh my god, what the hell is going to happen next? It's building this atmosphere and you're wondering, oh my god, like, what's going to happen next? Okay, there's like this building scene and oh beautiful, there's like this wonderful Texas shot of like a sunrise or whatever, and it's like, okay, I know this is a horror movie. I know I came to see a horror movie.
Oh yeah, they come around every now and then. I mean, you get one of those classics that just stand the test of time, and everything that happened and the way it was filmed just turns out perfect. And there's really nothing I would do different in this movie. I mean, it's stand the test of time.
Well, there's a good question too. Why do you think that this movie has stood the test of time with horror fans?
I think it's just because it's like it's a one of a kind. I mean, they filmed it. It's got aspects of all kinds of different movies into it. You got the slasher, you got the killers, and it's set, like, the storyline's just totally different. The way they film it. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just a totally one-of-a-kind movie, and it set the bar for movies to come in the future. That's what I think. So.
Well, what do you think, Luke and Chris? What stood the test of time for this movie?
What stood the
Definitely
test?
the atmosphere.
Like, why has it stood the test of time? Why is it, why are people still attracted to it, and seems to like kind of go generation to generation too. It doesn't seem to slow down.
Go ahead, Luke. Up to you.
I'm thinking maybe I wouldn't really say that it connects with everyone because of the atmosphere, but that's a big reason people. It's not the same thing as now. It's just like boo, a jump scare. It's very like everything's kind of taken slower. You just kind of take everything in.
Yeah.
And maybe because no one saw some dude with a face mask holding a chainsaw before. Maybe people like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's very raw too. Like there's like their practical effects aren't over. Well, some of it's very impressive, but for the most part, it's pretty good standard costume, just creativeness with inside the house and stuff like that. I think if you're attracted to that macabre feel, that like darker interest in the darker side of life, like kind of like real shit though. I think that's kind of part of it. I think for people, I think for someone like me, it's still more the novelty of like its impact. It's not a real rewatchable thing for me actually.
No, I think we were talking about that too. It's not a movie you want, you're gonna pop in once a year and just really, get into it. I mean, it's a great all-time classic, one of a kind, but I mean, it is so disturbing in certain ways that, yeah, I'll wait about, maybe 6, 7 more years before I watch it again, And I think it stands the test of time too because, I mean, the character Leatherface just, I mean, the last one was what, 2013? They're having another one come out again, a prequel type thing. So, when you keep reliving the character over and over and over, I mean, I would ask you guys. I mean, even Luke, especially. I don't know how old you are, Chris, but what was the first Leatherface movie you guys actually seen that took you back to see the original?
I seen the first time. I seen the one. It was in I grew up in a very small town. It was Leatherface 3 or something, but it was on VHS, and you put the tape around, and on one side it was the lipstick, like it was a chainsaw,
Oh.
and on the other side it was Leatherface as a woman.
Yeah.
He was like sitting like this with like the chainsaw, and it was like pantyhose, and the thing also, like her mask also looked like it was sewn onto her face. But
I haven't seen the other two. Which one? That one's what, 3? Number 3?
yeah, probably 3. I don't know. Coming from it's not like I used to rent like Carnosaur. Fucking, I think the first horror movie I seen was like Carnosaur 30 on VHS, and I rented it. But
Carnosaur. I haven't seen that. I don't think.
basically, it's a crappy Jurassic Park ripoff with a lot of gore, like dinosaurs like eating people and tearing people apart. It's fucked. Trust me.
On a side note, I know Dino remembers this. Chris, how old are you again?
What?
Sorry, how old are you again?
I'm 26.
No, you wouldn't remember this, but Dino would. Remember dinosaurs? That fucking I'm the baby shit?
Right.
Oh,
classic.
I'm the baby.
Do you know that? You do know that?
It was a TV series, Dinosaurs. It would be something that would be like on maybe Cartoon, Network nowadays or Nickelodeon.
YTV or something.
Yeah.
Just see fat, chubby dinosaurs, and it's just a funny show. It's like Family Guy, like dinosaur-wise, kind of, but even different than that. I don't know. It's hard to explain, right, Pat? I mean, it's
a bonkers show to watch. It's really weird, but you know what? I loved watching the baby, whatever. Anyways, but I loved watching the show just because the costumes and everything like that. Like I was much younger than Dino at the time watching it. I guess it was like what, 11, something like whatever, and even younger. So like I don't know, it was fun. I don't know, it was a fun show, but I mean, you watch it now, like it's on YouTube. There's clips and stuff like that. And I'm like, fuck, man, this show. Sorry, Amos, I got this on dinosaurs.
Bizarre, yeah.
No, it was all puppets, which I love.
Yeah.
It's all like creative puppets, and especially the frying pan, where you say like, "I'm the baby."
Yeah.
And it's like a frying pan, and it's just all like puppets. You know what I mean? It's like
I actually forgot about the frying pan part. I actually forgot about that part. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
The running deal.
Luke, how about you? I didn't. What was the first Texas Chainsaw you saw that actually took you back to the original?
Well,
Do you remember?
I know I saw the original before anything else, but I remember I watched.
Sorry, the roof's caving here.
That's fine. I saw the one with Matthew McConaughey. Is that the Next Generation? I saw that one, and then I was like, oh God, please don't tell me the original is this bad. And I went and I rewatched it. I was like, okay, that was just a bad movie. Okay, good.
Yeah. So the Next Generation.
Like you said, it's not a movie you watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, it's not a movie you watch often.
All right.
The remake is more, I think, aesthetically pleasing to me, but I guess that's the divide between a lot of people too. I don't want to get into the whole remakes, you can't win, you can't lose type of thing, it's a lose-lose situation where people want to see this, but they want change, but don't change type of thing. But the visuals for me are easier to watch in the remake.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I do find that there's an appeal to the original, the graininess, it's suiting, but I don't know. I find it's difficult to watch it. I find some of it sloppy and too dark. Like when Franklin gets killed, it's very it's not lit well,
Yeah, classic scene though. I mean, she's pushing him through that rough terrain. She didn't want to take him anyways, but
trying to kill her.
Which was a shame. I mean, the dude he ain't going to be able to pop up in that van and take off riding because he can't move his legs. So
the fool, you ruined the door.
Yeah. But I thought that was awful, man. But I mean, everybody's taking off, disappearing, and he's the last one there with the dark time. It was, unbelievable. But I didn't feel too sorry for him. He was very annoying.
Yeah, no, I didn't care when he died. I could go down the list of characters that I don't care if they die, and give you the reasons, but
he got what was coming to him. Beef jerky.
He reminds me of that one kid, that one guy from Friday 13th 5.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, Joey.
You want a candy? You want a candy bar? I mean,
he even kind of looks like him. And just as a side note, if there's basketball fans, Lowry just hit a 3-point buzzer beater. That was awesome. Anyways.
Oh, jeez. Pat with some sports updates.
Just get out there. And this is my shot for. Oh no, he didn't. Shot clock violation. Never mind. So I won't get hired at TSN.
Oh well, yeah. So and towards I'm
going way off there.
And then the end of the movie where she escapes. I mean, I think the reason she of course gets away at the end, but I think they weren't expecting. I think no traffic really drives on that street because they were just playing with her as she was running to the street. He's whacking her, with the knife, slicing up her back, and Leatherface is just back there, like kind of dancing, running while she's just running, to the street, and that's how they kind of, and then the semi rolls over the hitchhiker, which is a kind of a good part of the movie, just take him out, even though he was a good character, but
it'd be interesting to see the script and see how much they actually followed through, on shoot.
Right.
When they were shooting, and how much they deviated.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Yeah, get the original script and see how many side notes were on there and changed up and all that. But yeah.
Probably be a lot when it comes to changing the script. More than likely.
Yeah. But I love at the end though how she does get to the semi, pulls up. And a couple things I just don't understand with the ending of the movie too. is I mean, it doesn't take away from it, but I mean, the semi stops and the big black guy gets out. Black Marge was it the name of the truck on there?
Large March.
Yeah. What was it?
Large March.
Larger. Okay. And but he gets out. He sees Leatherface chasing Sally to the truck, and he jumps in the truck. Sally jumps in the truck. They close the door, but they get out on the other side. I never knew why he didn't just take off with the semi. I mean, Leatherface was cutting up the door and stuff there, but they had time to start it up and just take off, and they get out the other side and just whip it down the road, you know. And he does grab a wrench, which he ends up throwing at Leatherface, and cuts up his a leg. And I heard that Tobe Hooper, they put a metal plate on his leg there and put actual raw meat there, so that when the chainsaw went and cut it up, it looked like it was really cutting up, you know, the real meat there. Actor taking a chance there too on Leatherface at the end of the movie.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Yeah. But they run off, and they never say what happened to that black guy running out of that truck. He just took off down the street. And I know the younger one got ran over by the semi. I know Leatherface was still there dancing, you know, with the chainsaw going, and Paul was somewhere in the house. So, you know, you think they would have gone after and got this guy. I don't know, because the pickup comes and gets Sally, and they take off, and she survives. But always wondered what happened to that guy who just took off down the street.
Yeah, it's a very anticlimactic movie, really. You know, like nothing. But that was kind of the style of the '70s. Like, if you think about it, like, so was Halloween. Like, not to get into the mainstream, but just as a quick example.
Right.
I mean, well, actually, going back, The Exorcist was somewhat anticlimactic. I mean, it just felt that way. Like, I know it was resolved with the priest, and it went to the priest and things like that, but it was never like a direct confrontation with the demon. The demon doesn't it gets expelled, I suppose. I forget what happens in number 3. Number 2 is never mind. But there was kind of a trend of that in the 70s, where horror movies didn't, you know, end up with people winning out. And only a few of them since then, because I don't keep up with newer ones, but a take on that I kind of like, where it reappeared again, was, you know, Dragged into Hell. Obviously ended disastrously for the main character. The Ring, to a certain extent, she comes through at the end. I guess the Blair Witch Project. You know, just with the bad guys sort of winning, you know, or being deceptive in a way that they didn't really lose.
Yeah, and that's what kind of happens with the Texas Chainsaw. I mean, the hitchhiker got ran over, but, you know, basically the other ones didn't get caught or nothing, and they didn't really conclude that the police came and got all these people or anything. It's, you know, whereas they could come years later in the second part, and the family's still off, you know, doing their stuff. So, yeah, no conclusion as the police coming and taking them away. So,
which again, kind of, I guess, goes to that unsettling feeling where it's not resolved at all, and even when she gets away at the end, she's damaged. Like, she's damaged goods now. Like, she's not recovering anytime soon from that.
Like, laughing hysterically.
Oh yeah, she's got some PTSD going on, I'm sure. So.
Yeah, she's snapped. Like, so they're all pretty much, and not only that, like, I mean, her friends getting murdered and stuff like that. She's, you know,
oh yeah, she's damaged goods without a doubt. I mean, you know, she went through a heck of a lot. I mean, she got chunk out of her head. Yeah, I mean, just and she flies out the window when she does go in the house when Leatherface is chasing her. She makes it up to the room, sees Grandma and Grandpa, you know, Grandpa's alive. But when he comes up the steps, she just takes off and dives out the window. And the glass breaks, and I think it's the 3rd floor, because it's kind of the roof area, or the attic area. And, yeah, she gets up and takes off running. So, she's got to be hurt, man. I mean.
Yeah, but you know what? Good for her, because I'm sick of this shit where, like, you know, people can't like unlock a door, or you know, they obviously didn't bring their car to the mechanic to get, like, none of them take care of their cars at
Right.
all. Or there's been their cars must have been the one that was supposed to be recalled or whatever, but it doesn't start. And she's like, fuck it, and she jumps through a window. Good for her. Like, at least she took action and got out of there, you know?
Exactly. And that's what would happen in a lot of the old black and whites and earlier monster movies, where they would back them into a corner, and you're going, there's about 30 feet of room that you could run out through that door right now, but you're standing there screaming. So yeah, I mean, but I actually like that cheesy style to those movies too. But that's just a whole separate, you know, type of movie. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Either the car just breaks down, or you know, the victim. You know, so she actually came through alive. So I hear you.
Yeah, it's really triumphant, actually. The ending of it, like I said, like Pat said, I haven't watched it in a little while, but the ending of it, when she's going away in the back of the truck and everything, and she's laughing hysterically, you kind of get this idea that you're like,
Yeah.
probably pretty fucked up about this, but
Are you guys hearing all the noise upstairs?
It's not bad. It's fine.
Okay. Well, I'm probably gonna have to wrap this up here. Having
Real
kids,
quick,
you know. Yeah, go ahead.
What I was gonna ask this: what is your favorite moment in that movie? Because mine is probably when he bashed the guy in the head and then slams the door. I don't know why, but I really like that part.
Oh, well, as horror movies go, yeah, that's, I mean, the very first kill. Yeah, when he comes through and the hammer goes down, and yeah, that's classic. I mean, I would say that. Although I do like when Grandpa's feeding on the finger and dangling his arms and legs up there. So
That's
you know,
pretty good.
I'd say that might be up there for me too.
So what do you think of, I guess, if we're wrapping up pretty soon, the remake? They transition into the remake for the new generation to kind of enjoy. They cleaned up the visuals. It's a little bit more flashy, a little bit more sharp. The sound's a lot more on point. There's kind of a score to it. More complicated editing and stuff, which sometimes I think isn't necessary. But I don't know. What do you think of the transition to the new? Well, I mean, it's 12 years old now, but the newer version.
It's, in my opinion, it's entertaining, but they missed the whole point of the original film, I think, and not to sound like a snobby asshole, you know, but the whole point of the original film was the atmosphere, and was that they had no money. They brought in real meat. They brought in real blood. It smelled horrible in those scenes. It was awful to film. It was awful to work on. It was terrible. The whole experience was terrible. And you know what? To watch the original, you can feel it. You really can. But for the polished up remake and everything, yes, it's entertaining. It's cool. It's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, you got Leatherface there. Oh God, it's Leatherface. Oh shit, he has a chainsaw and everything like that.
Yeah.
But it's a remake.
Yeah. You know what, Dino? This guy's a snobby asshole. Just messing.
No, hey, I get it. Yeah, I hear you. Hey.
No, I agree though. Yeah, no, I definitely see your point that they missed the point of it. But I guess if you're gonna change it, then I'm totally cool with just change it. That was a mistake that I hate. I'm trying to avoid the big three, but that's a mistake that Elm Street made where they were playing it safe. I guess you could switch to Ghostbusters if you kind of find that as a fringe humorous sort of horror thing, because there are creepy parts to it. But number 2 played it safe too. Sorry?
But they really tried with that one. I don't want to get into this too much, but I love Ghostbusters too. They really freaking tried. I mean, but yeah, they do.
I don't think they really tried, because I mean the formula is kind of the same. I mean, you know, they just added in that they got sued or whatever to give them a reason to come back, which I mean is essentially the first one where They get fired from the university, so they got to come back. They got to fight, instead of Stay Puft, it's the Statue of Liberty. Kind of anticlimactic at the end, too. Like, it's not a real big payoff. I found the stuff in the middle to be a lot creepier, like the sewage sludge, the train scene where Winston gets run over. Entertaining parts, but they played it safe. But it was a good movie. It definitely wasn't original. But now I'm feeling watching Ghostbusters tonight after the basketball game.
There you go. Yeah. No, Ghostbusters is classic. I mean, and to come up with a sequel to that it's hard to do. I mean, because that's kind of more of a standalone movie, I think, than a one and done. I don't think it was necessary to do a second one, but.
It wasn't necessary, but it just called for a curtain call, because I mean, come on, how friggin' original is that? Like, people like nobody thought of, like, there was capturing ghost shit, I'm sure, here and there. Like, somebody will correct me and be like, no, the 1936 this ball captured this bullshit. Whatever. It's not the same, okay? Right. They're not ectoplasm awesomeness and nuclear accelerators. And it's just not. And Janine, who's well, you know what I think of Janine. Right. I think I said that on the last live thing. I just love her. Ghostbusters, what do you want? Hello,
Ghostbusters.
It's a friggin' hearse that they have it in, which is kind of ironic. They're in an old gas station. The music, I don't know. I could gush about that
movie. Man, it's awesome. And I have no problem with remakes either. I mean, like I've said this before. If it's good, it's good. But it's never going to take away from what was good before. I don't think. I can separate, like, there's 13 different, Leatherface or whatever. I can distinguish which one I love, and it's not going to have anything to do with making me go, I hate it now because all the rest of the movies are terrible or whatever. So
it's a retelling, right? It's a retelling of the original story, which is nice, because a lot of people, like, have, like, I hate to get weird about it, but, like, a lot of people had the budget to retell the story. Right, Pat?
Sorry, no, say that one more time.
Okay.
My earphones just went out.
A lot of people had the budget to retell a story and everything, and, like, being a fan and everything, you want to retell. Who doesn't want to direct a Halloween film?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to, like, Halloween Returns, that's coming up? Wouldn't you want to direct that? I'd be so excited. I'd be like, oh my God, really? Like, that's awesome. I want to do this and make it right, Yeah. But
the pressure would be immense, though. It would be so immense because it's all new, right?
Well, that's the thing. I love that. Even when you hear, like, they're bringing out a new movie, you get excited and stuff. But there's just been so much disappointment with these movies that it's.
Halloween 4.
To which one?
What?
You said you like 4. 4 what movie? What franchise?
No, I don't like Halloween 4.
Thank you.
Don't like Halloween. Okay.
I'm sick of hearing how good it is. It's not.
It sucked.
He looks like a football player, and his mask is stupid, and I don't give a shit about not Ellie Cornell, but her character, whatever the hell her name is. I'm in the middle of doing a perspective video on the damn movie, and I should know her name. What's her name? She's a cute little kid in that movie. Blah blah blah. She did a great job, actually. What's her name? But
Harris.
Yeah, Danielle Harris. And but overall, a couple good parts. Didn't like the movie. I don't know why people like it better than 5, but.
I'm not a fan of the whole Jarvis trilogy altogether. I think it's
Yo, you mean the Thorn trilogy?
Yeah, why did I say Jarvis?
Because I did a perspective video on it. Thank you for promoting it.
Yeah, he did. Go check that out.
How funny. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Can I do a cheap plug?
Yeah, you go ahead, man.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, anybody watching that watches the channel and stuff, the perspective videos are back. I'm coming back with a Halloween because it was heavily requested, and yes, I'm getting back to the Friday ones just after that. That's all.
All right, after that though, we need a Texas Chainsaw Massacre series.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Halloween kind of killed us with these franchises, but anyways,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
We're going back to an oldie. We're doing the Old Dark House with Boris Karloff.
Oh.
So I'm going back old school black and white. So that'll be our next commentary next week. So.
Yeah, Dino and I, you and I are rapping on a bit about, how it kind of set the trend for that, house out in the woods type of thing, isolation. It's kind of, it's a weird movie.
Oh, and Boris Karloff's great in it. I mean, he's a drunk, but he's
Isn't he always great?
He is always great. I mean, exactly. I mean, what isn't he good in? So yeah, definitely. And he's in some street movies too, like. And he's even great in those movies too. If you're a fan of any of the film noir back then in the 40s and stuff like that, and going into the 50s, he did some movies in like mainstream type movies too. And he's just great because his character. I mean, his voice, everything. You know Boris Karloff. You know.
I'm not familiar with because I pay his attention to his horror work. You know what? I hate actually calling it horror. It's a thriller genre, adventure genre, fantasy genre almost. Horror is a reaction to me. My title of my channel is what it is, but I'm not familiar with it outside that genre. But
IMDb, so yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna check some of that out. It's probably something that I'm like I should remember, but Karloff is great, and he was in The Terror, wasn't he? Like that kind of weirdly pieced together,
right? Yeah.
Disarray of madness.
Yep. And how about you, Luke? What do you got coming up? Anything new?
Gonna review Creed when it comes out next week. I know it's not a horror movie, but still gonna.
Okay, cool. How about you, Chris? Anything?
I'm excited for that one.
I haven't checked out your channel yet, Chris, so I'm not sure quite what you do, but I will check it out.
Oh fuck! Well. Basically, what I do is I went to film school and got student loans, and I spent way too much fucking money learning how to do it. And I've been doing it since I was a kid. But my channel, my name, Christopher Crane, it has 46 videos on it, and I produced, directed, did the music for a lot of them. Yeah.
Chris, do I have you on the Skype channel, or my Skype account, or whatever you call it?
I don't think so.
Oh, because that's interesting. If you went to film school and you're interested in stuff like that, I love talking to people about that because that's my career field. And yeah, film school, $20,000 a year is not cheap. Yeah, you should have me. Just type in horror movie review guy. It's my emblem, and I wouldn't mind chatting with you about that and see what. Because there's all kinds of shit to talk about when it comes to that. Do you have like aspirations of making like maybe a micro budget film, a short, or anything like that coming up, or?
Yeah, I got it. Well, I usually do about a video every 2 months. I'll do a video. Last one was about 15 minutes long. It's a horror comedy.
Look, man. But this is on your Christopher Crane, right?
Yeah.
Not Spooky Sounds.
No, Spooky Sounds is when I comment a bunch of crazy shit on people's channels.
Okay. Well,
you comment on their channels, like about crazy shit on their channels?
Yeah. I don't even know, man. It's just I guess it's a sense of humor. I don't fucking...
Please do mine. You'll have a field day. I'm just all over the place. I get everything wrong. I lie just to make a joke. It's just off the wall, the perspective videos, because I'm just don't care. And so if you want to make fun of one of those videos, you'll be able to make me look like a clown. It would be great. But yeah, you should add me to Facebook because I love to chat with people about that, especially if they're like Andrew in Canada, which is better than talking to somebody from New Zealand about film, because the idea that you'd ever collaborate or exchange ideas that are meaningful, unless you're taking a plane trip. But yeah, you should add me on, and then we can chat about that. So, but that's awesome. And what's the other channel that you have the shorts on?
It's just my name.
Okay.
Christopher Crane.
Christopher Crane.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll look it up too. Yeah. Cool, man. Well, hey,
with a K, right?
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here, okay, guys?
Yeah, same.
So, thanks for joining me here, man, talking about it. It was awesome. Nice meeting you, Chris.
Yeah, Chris, you're
Rip
awesome.
Gunner.
Man.
Yep, and thanks, Luke, Pat.
Yep.
And hopefully you guys might be available next time I do this. You know, who knows? I know next week is an older, shorter, movie, but we'll see,
All right. Awesome as always. Thanks, Dino, for having me. Nice meeting you, Chris. Luke, I'll talk to you. Well, we always talk to each other, so I'll talk to you soon.
Okay,
All
take
right.
care, you guys.
All right.
Yeah.